And I'm going to stand over here, and we're going to ask, if you had the choice between chocolate or vanilla ice cream, which would you choose? She has chocolate, and I have vanilla. Which would you choose? That's a hard decision. Should we just have both? Chocolate and vanilla? Okay, let's try coming together. You just try to catch them both. You ready? You can bring them over here. You can catch them both. Ready? Put your hands underneath. We can even just give them to her because this isn't a big choice, right? There we go. So we can have both chocolate and vanilla ice cream. That's not a terrible choice. Sometimes we have to make harder choices though, right? Sometimes we have to make really hard choices. Let's try this again. Do you think, what if she has $1,000 and over here I have obeying the Lord's commandments? You could go steal her $1,000. You want to try this? So over here, we're going to hold the ball up. You ready? Do you want to obey the Lord's commandments or do you want to steal $1,000? All right, you're going to go steal $1,000? Go get it. You got to catch it. Oh, but now we've left this one alone. Oh, it doesn't work to do both. All right, let's have a seat for a second. There are a lot of choices that we have in life where we can't do both things. Some of them are really, really hard choices, and we're going to talk about one real quick this morning in honor of something called Veterans Day. Do you guys know what Veterans Day is? What's Veterans Day? We celebrate the veterans, the people who went off to war, and they fought for the freedom of our country, right? Now, sometimes when you're in battle or in war, you have to make a choice between our own life and the freedom of the people that we're fighting for. In some ways, you can't actually do both. Sometimes you actually have to give up your life in those cases. And all of our wonderful veterans made that choice to actually say, I will be willing to lay down my own life to help my fellow citizens have freedom. We also have choices that we can't choose to steal something from somebody else and at the same time be obedient to the Lord's commandments because he says, thou shalt not steal, right? Is it even possible to do both? No, it's not possible to do both. I'm going to read a little bit from the Gospel of Matthew, beginning at chapter 6, verse 1, and then skipping down a little bit farther. It says, take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them, otherwise you have no reward from your Father in heaven. Therefore, when you do a charitable deed, do not sound a trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they might have glory from men. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward. But when you do a charitable deed, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that your charitable deed may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly. So this is kind of setting up a little bit of this situation, isn't it? Saying, well, when we're doing good deeds, sometimes we want to do a good deed and then make sure everybody saw, look at me, I did something really nice. Do you think that the good deed is more for that other person or is more for us looking good or feeling good about ourselves? It's kind of hard to do both. So the Lord is saying, no, try to do it in secret because it's better for us to do it that way. Continuing on verse 19. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great that darkness is. Now here's the really important part of this, thinking about our making of choices. It says, no one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. So there's our choice that's being laid out, to be able to serve the Lord or to be able to serve mammon. Anybody know what mammon is? Mammon is actually, it's kind of the name for money. But it's also meaning just everything that we want in this world, all of the things that we want to own or have. Maybe it's that $1,000. Well, we can't have that necessarily, while at the same time breaking some of the Lord's commandments. It doesn't mean that money is bad on its own, but if we're breaking the Lord's commandments to get it, then we're not serving the Lord. Sometimes we want these things in our lives so much, and adults probably identify with this a lot, wanting to have the nice car or the nice house, or having just enough to get by in life. And sometimes we get bitter that we don't have those things. And so we might get grumpy and stop serving the Lord because we don't feel like He's providing for us. But the Lord always provides for us. Even if we don't have very much, He's providing for us in every way that we can, imagine. So we have a lot of choices in life. And this is an important way to think about this, is when I make a choice, am I making sure that I put the Lord and other people first? Am I putting heaven first and the ideas that the Lord gives us? Or are we just putting our own selfish needs and desires in that place first?